Should I do the breathwork training in person or online? That's the topic of today's video. That's what we're going to be discussing. I'm going to be going over the pros and cons of doing the breathwork training in person, pros and cons of doing it online. Well, before we dive into that, please subscribe to the channel, like the video, comment, follow, all that stuff. It really helps the channel. It helps me to make these videos for you. And so I hope this video really helps you to make your decision if you're trying to decide between doing it online or in person. Because the wise ass in me, the wise guy in me just wants to be like, well, if you have the finances and you have the time, then it's a no-brainer. Go in person, right? And if you don't have the finances or your time's constraint, then do it online. It's that simple. But I understand people want to go deeper. They want a deeper answer. So I'm going to go over some of the pros and the cons of each, and maybe that'll help you. But a lot of times, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not going to be brutally honest because I think brutal honesty is more because people like to be brutal. I'm just going to be honest because sometimes when people are like really honest with me, it helps me. I think people spin their wheels a lot. You know, they want to email and they want to be like, well, I'm thinking about the training, and they want to ask questions. It's okay to ask questions, but they just want to feel like they're doing something. And they feel like they're searching for a training. They feel like they're doing something, but they're not actually doing something. They're not actually doing something that's moving them forward towards their goals, towards what they want in their life. You know, I'll have people that email me and be like, are you ever going to do this training in Florida? And then I don't know. You can't wait for the training to come to your backyard to do it. That's not how it works, right? So if you're feeling called, you either sign up and go do the next training in person if there's availability in that, or if you don't want to wait that long, you do it online, right? If you're feeling called, now's the time. You're motivated now. Jump on the training. Either jump on it by signing up and committing, or jump on it by signing up for the online and diving into that. And so let me dive into the pros and cons of each. First, I'll do in person. In person, obviously, you're there, you're doing the stuff. And in that training, in that in-person training, you're going to lead a few one-on-one sessions. You're going to actually hold space and guide somebody in a one-on-one session. You're going to do a few of those. You're going to lead a few couple sessions, right? So you're going to guide space for 2 people, and you're going to have that experience. And then we do this group thing where you actually watch half the room breathe. So by the time you leave that training, you've watched 15 to 20 people. You've held space for 15 to 20 people. That's a massive amount of experience in 4 days that you're going to gain before you even leave that training. So then you can go right to work as soon as you leave that training on taking other people through sessions as soon as you get back, because you just gained all that experience. You've already seen people breathe. You've already held the space. So you have experience, actual experience in guiding sessions and holding space for people when you do the in-person training. You don't get that actual experience as much online. Because you're just going through the videos, the sequences and stuff like that. So that's probably the biggest pro of doing the in-person training. Also, I have the script for the teacher training, and it's online as well as in person. But in person, I make you get up and do it each day for a certain amount of time with a partner, right? And so you guys are both practicing the script back and forth. So it's kind of forced repetition, forced doing it. So by the time you leave the training, you really have that script down. You really know what to say and before a session or a class. Whereas the online training, you have that script, but you have to make yourself practice it. And a lot of people don't have that discipline. Some people do, some people don't. So I think that's a big pro of doing the in-person. And you make these bonds with these other people in the training as well. That's a really special thing. Sometimes in the in-person training, we're doing these transformational exercises and we're doing a lot of breathing. Then right after that, we might be going into some learning, right? We're learning something right after that. And you might still be a little out of it from the breathing, so you might not retain it as well because you're sort of out of it from the breath work. So that's kind of a con of in-person, but the way I combat that is I give you the online trainings to go over when you come back from the in-person, so that in case you missed some of the information in the in-person, you get the online trainings as well. The online trainings are amazing. I was the first guy to put trainings online about 5 years ago, and a bunch of other breathwork teachers who have been around a long time kind of pushed back on it. They're like, you can't teach this online, it has to be in person. And I heard a lot of people say that, like, I don't think you can learn this online. And I said, well, I think you can. And so I created a breathwork training online about 5 years ago. I was the first guy to put breathwork training online. And I got pushback for it. Ironically, when the shutdown happened, when the COVID shutdown happened, all these teachers started doing their trainings online. All the teachers who said you couldn't do it online started doing it online. So I guess they could only do it online when it was the only way for them, right? I had those trainings that I created online 5 years ago, but a year ago, I decided to reboot them. Why did I decide to reboot them? The online trainings, the original ones, were amazing. They were fantastic. I've got some moments in there. I've got some couple sessions that I lead that are absolutely spectacular that we just captured this on camera. But I wanted it to be more current. So, I've changed a lot. I've grown a lot. I've learned a lot over the last 4 or 5 years. So, January 2023, I shot new trainings and I rebooted them and added a bunch of new content. And I decided to keep the old trainings in there as well. So you have both of them in there and you can kind of see the progression, the journey. So both trainings are in there. I've had, I think, over 3,000 people maybe go through my online trainings. And not one person has ever come back and said, this was terrible, this wasn't worth it. They've all come back and said, this was amazing, thank you so much for creating this. I got so much out of this online training. I learned so much. One of the things I really try to push is that I have this 5-day emotional detox. And those are the transformational exercises that I have you do. And I want you to do those either before you do the training or at the same time that you're doing the training. Because I want you to have your own personal transformational experience from breathwork. I want you to teach from that place, from your own personal experience that you've transformed yourself and some of the things in your life through breathwork, because that's a powerful place to teach from. Not just regurgitating what I told you, information I told you, but from your own personal experience too. So I have the 5-day detox combined with the trainings, and we do those exercises in the in-person training, but online you do them as well. And so that is a powerful place to teach from. I've had people just come back and be like, oh my God, I learned so much, I got so much out of it. Whether you do the in-person training or the online training, I'm still gonna keep supporting you. I have live Zoom Q&As. Either one, in person or online, you can come to the live Zoom Q&As. I do them every quarter, every couple months. And I have all of those Zoom Q&As for the last couple years saved in the online training. So I actually tell people, like, you should go through and watch all these Zoom Q&As. There's so much incredible, valuable information because these are people who are current breathwork teachers out in the world, leading sessions, leading groups, leading workshops and retreats and classes that are going, hey, what do I do when this happens? Or how do I market my business this way? Whether it's a business question or it's a question about working with a client or when somebody does something weird in class, all those questions, a lot of those questions are already answered in the Zoom Q&As, and you can come and ask them again in a new Zoom Q&A. But if you go through those Zoom Q&As, there's so much incredible, valuable information in there. And so that's one of the ways that I continue to support you on your breathwork teacher journey along the way is those Zoom Q&As. I really hope this helped you make your decision. I would suggest if you can come in person, if you have the time, if you have the finances, do that. If you can't, if you're just, I gotta get started right now. I just had an incredible breathwork experience and I'm anxious to bring this to my clients, or I'm anxious to start a breathwork business around this, then do the online. Jump in today, like sign up, do the online, don't wait. It's an incredible, incredible experience. I've had thousands of students who have done it online that are successfully leading breathwork all over the world from the online trainings. You can do it from the online trainings. It's incredible. Of course I think that, but I put so much time, so much effort. I give you everything you need. That's one of the things I hear from my students is like, John Paul gives you everything. Like he really pours his heart out, answers every question, doesn't pull any punches, right? I go for it in the training. So whether you do it in person or online, totally up to you, but make a decision. Don't sit on the fence. Don't email every teacher out there and ask them, like, what about this, what about that? Like, that's just you spinning your wheels, pretending that you're getting something done. It's not moving you closer to your goal. So get to work. I hope you enjoyed the video. Like, comment, subscribe, follow, all that YouTube stuff. Thank you so much for watching.